go. Here we go. Randy?
What's up?
Baby.
Yeah.
You know what time it is.
Please tell me.
Baby. You know what time it is.
I would really want to
It's
know.
studio job. Baby.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You know what time it is.
We're having a breakdown.
It's studio job.
Smoothie. I think
That
he had too
means
many
it's
slices of
timed.
American cheese and he's having himself a fit.
It's that horrible cheese, American cheese allergy he's got.
Yeah. It's a bit much.
He can only take real cheese, not fake cheese.
Let me see if he's gonna. Well, I guess he was. You know what time it is? It's American cheese time. And that, I don't know exactly what that means, but it's about to get cheesy. So, welcome everybody.
That's a good intro for
That's
for
good
our
enough, right? Welcome everybody to Edition Thru Distraction. Randy, give a little fist pump here. People can see the back of it. Yeah, that's Randy over at Master Control. You have me, Johnny Q, over here at the art table. We're going to give you some looks here. Well, that's a problem, Randy. I got mic in horrible placement. That was part of my problem. I had a lot of issues with the mic test today, Randy.
Really?
Yeah, I had lines everywhere except for in Streamlabs. And Streamlabs, you know, like how when the webcams get wonky because we have two of the webcams that are the same thing and it doesn't know which one's which sometimes, and you got to tell it. It did that, so we had to retell it which mic was what because it wasn't picking up any lines. I was thankful that they didn't have to all be reset up. They just had to be kind of like refreshed essentially. Yeah. And I only had to do it once in one scene. I didn't have to do it in every scene. It was like, so that's why I was just kind of like, So
yeah, they threw in additional options for starting the screen today too. They had five different things you had to hit OK for.
One of those is mine. I think because I was asking it to, it gives you a different now prompt, and so we had a lot, and technology has not been helpful to me here recently, so it's been fighting me a bit. Let me try to do this little mic placements. Apologies for any noises there. All right, we've got down there, back. All right.
Difficult.
There. And while we're doing that, I'm going to work on a boot of the M50. Take my phone and set it to the side.
Seriously? Hold on.
Wow. Hey. Hold on.
Why is my headset not working?
Okay. Again, you know how we do here in Studio Johnny Q. We stick the intro. All right. Welcome, everybody, through Edition Thru Distraction, your twice-a-week vodcast, where we work on nerdy craft things, such as these lovely and creepy beholders that you see here before you. And also, I feel like I'm missing a light. You know what? I think that should be cranked up higher. Hold on 1 second. You get those, and then you get to hear the ramblings of a madman and his friend who's kind enough to show up and listen to the ramblings of said madman. There we go. And that's a little bit better. All right. I think I have all the lights on. I think I have all the cameras on. Yes. So, remind everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. When you hit the subscribe button, you will get a bell icon. And Randy, when they ring that, magic happens. Not unlike that bell that just rang out of nowhere. Magic bell just appeared. So somebody must have clicked it. So good work, people. Keep doing it. Randy, on today's program, we are going to work on finishing up these final stages here of our beholders, I think. I have to contemplate that in part. But we had worked on some of our magic rays. And so we'll be reviewing those and finishing those up, probably putting some gloss on some things if we can. And so that's that part. Chat-wise, I want to talk VR. You got to have a little bit of experience with the tethered VR. Some of the folks that came over last night did. I've gotten a little chance to talk about it, so I'm hoping that'll be probably our primary...
With the wireless.
With the untethered wireless. Untethered. Yep. So I want to talk about that. And then there's some other stuff along the way. Remind everybody that we've got some recommended gear. We've got a hot glue gun and a heat gun. I got the heat gun right over here because I was using it. Randy, let me see if I can switch to a... There you go. Actually, yeah, I'm digging on this. I like the dial on the back. Makes the temperature control. And I was like... It's kind of funny because it's got one of those attachments is a paint scraper, right? So it's like, well, if I'm drying paint, I guess I got to be careful. Because if it's used to remove paint, right? I got to be careful about the heat that I have it on. So.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I was just kind of using my hand and figuring out, and yeah, it's got a nice range. I'm digging on this thing. I think it's going to come in handy. And then we also got our glue gun. I keep threatening that we're going to do some work on those eggs, and that might happen today, but might not. Randy, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm okay.
Are you?
Running a bit late.
Yeah.
A hectic frazzle to get here on time.
Yeah.
I woke up late.
And I am...
Trouble getting to sleep, as usual.
Yeah, oh really? How much sleep did you...
I'm not sure. I think I got about 3 hours.
Okay.
Not sure. I was really tired though. My schedule's all wonky.
I've un momento, por favor.
What have you done?
I need to take a little sippy sip. I need a drink to help me think, Randy.
It's a crutch, JB. It's a crutch.
Nothing wrong with a crutch if you're a cripple. All right. Excuse me. All right. Well, if that's the kind of things that you like, please like, share, and subscribe. All right. Now on. Excuse me, to the program. Without further ado, Randy, I am going to see what we can do here with our M50 and show you some of these eye stalks here. So these are ones that were on the head that I had removed and then put in some of the magic beams that we were working on.
Nice. Sure picks.
And here, I'm not sure if how well you'll be able to tell, Randy. So help me out here. Let's see what she can and can't see here. On this, I had thinned out some of that color shift paint to make an opalescent shimmer.
Nice. That looks good.
Yeah, so I think I might hit that with some more, and I need to take a look. I haven't looked at it since it's dry. Oh yeah, there's some good things going on there. But I think I might increase that on those, and especially that one that we had that was dark. I went through all these since yesterday and hit them with another layer of color. We had these ones in particular that I didn't like that were purple, and I kind of darkened them up, and then nothing else when they got the shimmer. But I think I'm gonna maybe dry brush a gold or something to give it a little bit more contrast on these as well. But I got that. So we've got some of these guys. Pachow! Pachow! Randy, I'm shooting you with my eye beams.
Ah.
All right. And here are some. Alright, yeah. The other ones. I like these. These are kind of coming. Ciao. You see this sparkly? Yeah. So we got some of that stuff to work on Fort With. And I am going to take a moment here just to orient myself in the workspace, figure out what paints we're going to need, so on and so forth. And I think, yeah, we're good. All right. Randy, how are we sounding sound-wise? Everything good in the hoodage?
I think so. I'm going to go full audio here, and so give me a minute. We talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
while I
absolutely.
give a quality listen.
Yep. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and listening today. We certainly appreciate it. If you're interested in some of the progress shots that we have on the of these beholders, so you can find those on Instagram, and that's in the links below, along with our recommended gear and all of our other social information and the web store where these will going to be available very shortly. And also we have our other guy that we've been working on, our Grando Mini. Let's see, maybe I'll put him on the M50 over here. It's a little teeter-tottery.
Did you change any of the settings with your audio, JB?
I did not mean to. At the very beginning, my microphone was not in the right place.
Okay. It's sounding a bit echoey right now on yours.
Is it? Yeah, that's weird. I'm spending a lot of time talking off mic, so
yeah. It could be let me just move my mic closer to me and point it more at my chest, and we'll see if it blocks it from you. That's probably what's causing it. You're probably being picked up on my mic.
Check out this dude, Randy. I know we've seen him before, but I want
to. Nice. All right, I'm back on audio. I'm going to mute my mic to see if that clears it up too.
Okay. Yeah, I did know that I was getting some echo, but so I'll not use the M50, and I'll go back here to over here, and let me see here. I think there might be some mic placement issues. All right, I think that should be optimal mic placement. All right, see, and let's go ahead, and I'm gonna do a long swap, and that, off, and then on. All right, and there you go. Guess there. Okay. And all right, so I got on the swippy swappy to hopefully give people some varied angles in case I got head down and aren't paying attention. I got the alarm set on the M50, Randy, so I think we are good to go. Oh, also I had, yeah. Oh. All right. I think I'm going to need to do something before we get going, though, that's going to require some two-part epoxy. I had a mishap that made me break my glasses last night, and I need to mend them. For a joke, I put some blue tack on them, Randy, just to get Carrie to smile, because she calls it tacky crappy. So you can see how I did a temporary mend on them. But the frame here broke. And so I think I'm just going to do some two-part epoxy until I get a replacement pair. So let us, first and foremost, I need to clean the lens, I think. And really happy with the way that these beholders have been coming out. Again, some of the final steps is just going to be to gloss kind of everything up, gloss the eyeballs, gloss the teeth, gloss maybe some of the eye. Man, we are just nothing but professional here today. Put that on mute. Okay. All right. So let me clean up one of these lenses. I think one of the things I'm most happy about with the way the beholders have come out is kind of the color shift on their bodies and the contrast that you see, especially in the flesh tones on the tentacles and on the teeth. So feeling good about both of those. And Randy, if you're listening on the mic, I'm got my head down, so I'm probably, this is horrible for your test purposes. All right. There we go. With that, these just basically pop back in. There. All right. So I'm just gonna mix up a little bit of 2-part epoxy, hop it in there, and then we'll be back in business. So, yes. And Randy, you can also see that last time we had worked on these bases for the beholders. And I'll switch it back to the corner cam. I mean, just using just some diluted of that mud wash, I think it is. I'll pull it, or smoke. I think it might have been the smoke. And just diluting it and spreading it around gave a lot of varying contrast on these bases. That was just, I was like, I don't even know if I really need to do anything else. I'll probably hit it with just a dry brush, but those bases are almost ready to go as is. So that's pretty cool. And let me see here. Alright. Yeah, that's gotta get equal amounts here. Or rough too. And I always get more than I need. Because it always seems like I'm grabbing what I think I need with the first half, and so then I always have at least twice as much. But not on purpose. Let's see here. And then you just mix it up until it's gray. And this is commonly referred to as, I think, green stuff, where they give you a blue and a yellow and you mix it till it's green. But this is, I think, Procreate, so it's similar. All right. So I'm just going to need just a little pinch of this. So maybe we'll make a vase out of the remainder there. And let's see here. Put a little piece like so. And squeeze this in to the crevices. Randy, do you promote squeezing it into the crevices? Are you pro team shove it in crevice?
What now?
Are you pro team shove it into a crevice? You have no context. Yes, I know. I know. I'm asking you on the spot. You are or you're not. And I'm not telling you which side I am.
I answered that based on the
based on your
fear
previous.
that I may incriminate my...
So you're saying that your attorney has, on the advice of your attorney,
to not say anything further on this subject.
All right, fair enough. You choose not to decide. You still have made a choice. All right, and so then I'm just kind of using my thumbnail here and just scraping this just to kind of give me a little smoothness here.
Your current view has a frame of the M50, which is frozen.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Here's something I found on the web.
I'm pretty positive.
Alexa, stop.
Computer, stop.
Computer.
Computer. Yes, it is a comedy of errors, my friend. It is a comedy of errors. So I think I've been doing some more research, and I'm pretty sure it's the power adapter that's causing my problems. And the reason is that I got a cheapy power adapter. Okay. And I think I need to go OEM with it. People say it's just, from what I've been looking into, it looks like that's probably. And I noticed that when I don't, like, I had it on like last night, so when it's not been on for a long time is the days that it, like if we're coming from a fresh boot, I didn't do anything with it and powered it on, then we can get a good session out of it. But if it's gotten some use, was on or something, it seems like it doesn't cooperate. There. So we're getting corner cam. You're getting manual cams, I guess, in the meantime. All right, here. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I want to make sure I got some space, this gap. We're minding the gap, Randy.
Well, something is up with these mics.
Do me a favor, Randy. So what's your mic and my mic? Everything's sounding crappy?
Yeah, mine was doing it. So I was trying to, I took the volume level of mine down so that it would stop showing levels for when you were talking, just to try to eliminate that
Okay.
echo from that source. And now I'm echoing like crazy from your mic, I guess. And it's like it's not picking me up on my mic hardly at all. Which doesn't make any sense because it's still like half volume. So, and it's showing levels.
Okay, can you do me a favor and compare it to the stream test?
And what?
The stream test that I did? You know what?
Bring it up.
No, hold on. I'm sorry. I can't.
Is the 1-2 button on? Is that...
No, when that's on, it only one of the mics, because I had that happen to me the other week.
So that's fine.
So that's fine. If you go into the sound settings and then make sure I checked, I thought they were both at 100, which so they should be at 100.
That's what I was
so,
trying to do
but if you're saying that they're low or they're too hot, is what it sounds like you're saying.
It's a mixed bag, and as usual, it's not making sense. Because for some reason, they seem to like to behave differently every time.
All right. Well,
but you go ahead. While I try to figure this out.
all right. I'm gonna. If you can have a few minutes to try to figure it out here, Randy. While I'm working here on the glasses, and then if we can't get it to where you think it sounds acceptable, I will call the ball. We will take it down. We will fix these problems without trying to freaking multitask, because I just don't have it in me.
It's still serviceable.
Okay.
As it was. It was just
Okay.
not your normal quality.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we'll just ask everybody to be kind. Please rewind.
Maybe.
Right here. All right. I think I have something I can work with there. Okay. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Sorry for all of this, but we don't know what the hell we're doing. So that's part of the fun, is getting to see some people try to figure it out along the way. All right. Alrighty. So let's take a look here at what we have with these fine gentlemen. And let me see if we can. Randy, I would like to make a motion.
What?
I would like to make a motion,
Hmm.
and this has nothing to do with you. I motion that I'm declaring this show the worst show that we've done so far.
Why?
Well, because I've provided nothing.
Lies.
I've provided nothing here except for watching some bumbling. So like that, it just happened right there.
Have
It
you
just
guys Schadenfreude?
yeah.
We're giving people joy through our misfortune.
That's right. So only our haters are having a grand time. So this one goes out to the haters. This one's for you. So all right, I'll look at it that way. Okay. So I don't understand how I could have 12 lights in here and not happy with the amount of light that I have.
And of course, Windows has changed the way that they display their settings, apparently, for these.
Yeah, that was part of the problem that I had. Whatever caused that to happen is what caused the microphones to not show in Streamlabs, right? So it was because of that.
Huh.
And they used to be right next to each other. Now, like, one of them is buried down at the bottom of the list. And It's I've been having these things. Rocksmith 2 nights ago stopped working and hasn't worked since.
Huh.
So I can't get Rocksmith to work. So that's been kind of like I've been fighting technology since 2 nights ago. And yeah, and it's winning. But I haven't given up. I haven't given up the fight, the good fight. So if I seem a little quick to be willing to throw the towel in today, it's not that. I'm just trying to make sure that we can optimize. There we go. That's a nice shot here with a fair amount of light on these guys. So Randy, I was hoping that the test today were going to go a little smoother and I would have had a chance to hit these guys with some matte spray. I'm afraid that if I do that matte spray in here, it's going to be probably a little prohibitive to you. You would agree with that, right? How do you react when your mom does hairspray next to you?
Oh, not good.
Yeah, okay. So we won't do that.
What are you talking about spraying? A clear coat?
Yeah, it's a matte Krylon matte spray.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that in here. Anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, I would use the airbrush booth, but the smell is still gonna.
The fumes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a fume extractor.
Yeah, I don't have it vented outside because most of the time I'm just using it for acrylic paint, right?
Mm.
And so it's just for overspray. So I was going to hit these outside real quick, but I don't want to do that. So I can continue to do some work here on the magic beams, and also some work on the eyeballs. I want to do, I think, some more work on the irises. And there's also probably some ink wash work that I can do on these. Oh, I know I need to work on when I swap these out, Randy. Since I did all of the angry inches, as we're affectionately referring to them, I did these all like separately. They all have a skin tone that's somewhat different. So you can, I don't know if you can kind of see here. This one's a little bit more pink. This one's a little bit more purple. So I need to do some work on those. So what I want to do is I think I want to socket all these with their corresponding parts and mark these some way so that I can keep them together. So let's work on that. All right. Let us work on that. And we will up and out of. Sometimes, Randy, it feels like it would have been a better idea just to stay in bed. But we don't get that option. That's why they call it living.
Victory pose. Put your arms up.
Because you gotta live.
Put your arms up.
Hey,
come on, you can do it.
Randy, you gotta be in it to win it.
Put your arms up, buddy. There
Raise
you
your
go.
hands if you're sure.
Everybody do a victory pose.
Yes.
You'll feel better.
All right. Hey, by the way, Randy, we do. And by we I mean me. Do Dragon Twerks for donations. Links are down below. If somebody wants to get a little Dragon Twerk to brighten up their day, and I will do my best to make sure it would brighten your day if you chose to go down that path. All right. Let me.
You be twerking that wagon, your dragon.
Yeah, oh yeah. Let me see here. We are both the dancing monkey and the organ grinder, but your patronage still makes it all go. All right. I am sorting our magic beams so I can figure out what we have here, what we're working with. So what you're working with, Randy. All right. And then these were some of the angry inches that we removed. So I need to keep these separate because I got 3 sets of them and they're different colors and these are going to get mixed up very quickly. So yeah, just for such instances. All right. Those those go in there.
It feels like the delay is more like a 2-minute delay today.
Oh, is really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Audio wise, is there anything that I can do to help us? Talk louder, more towards the mic.
Your volume level's fine. It was just that you were echoing, and in trying to fix that, it came to attention that I was echoing.
Okay.
And in trying to fix that, my mic is really quiet, even for me with my mouth right on it. So, which doesn't make any sense.
How are
The
the
levels look fine in Streamlabs.
How do they? Oh, okay. And how do they look on the 1810?
They should look. Why don't you say something else, please?
Yeah. You can see kind of what they look like commensurate to me.
Yeah. So on the studio, I'm the 1810. It looks like I'm almost louder than you are.
Which I don't think is what we would expect.
I think
So
they're both set on the same thing currently.
let's see here.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll have to take another look at it after.
Yeah, we'll have to. It's a shame But the thing is that Windows, I have had Windows updates,
Mm-hmm.
and Streamlabs has done updates, and so it's just a lot of rocking and rolling. Ayatollah of rock and roller.
It might be. I think your mic is probably in a little different position
Yeah.
than you had it originally.
I
You got the
agree.
sweet spot, so
Yeah, I agree.
we can mess with that later.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my volume back up a bit.
All right.
And we'll just have to say that's good enough for audio for the moment.
All right. I will do the same. I'm leaving the mics. I'm done smacking, and it's the miniatures that I will be attacking. And not this problem. It's kind of funny because these are painted in, the tentacles and the washes and stuff. And so the ones that are removable are firmly in there right now. And so it's like, I'm wiggling. I was like, I think this is the right one to be trying to remove. It's like, if I remove one of these tentacles that isn't supposed to be removed, I really don't want to nerd rage today. I don't want to have that.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. That's not, it needs to see a angry ginger. I don't help nobody.
Except the haters, and they hate us because they taint us.
They hate us because taint us. All right, here. So let's go ahead.
So,
and
what is it, tomorrow? Yeah, according to this obscure holiday calendar, tomorrow is National Sticky Bun Day. So
sticky bun,
I
sticky
came
bun,
with
bun.
a gift of sticky buns today. That sounds
Aw.
vaguely bad, but
Well, it doesn't sound vaguely. If that sounded vaguely bad, let me see if I can make it sound badder. More badder. More badder like my grammar.
I washed my buns right before I came, so they're not sticky. So.
Well, Randy, I
Yeah,
did need
see,
to
it's
tell
getting
you
worse.
about. I wasn't sure what happened before I came in here, but I did notice that there was something left on my chair due to your sticky buns.
I think that was all you, bro. That was here when I got here.
So, but all right, fair enough. Okay, I digress. But thank you for your sticky buns. Actually, it's really, really, really hard for me not to go over. I'm just gonna huff it.
You're gonna huff the sticky bun.
So. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, yeah, that's a good.
Sorry,
That smells
bit-
like Canada. Good
a
stuff.
little cough going on today, apparently.
Good. Okay. So, looking at these. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and I do feel, Randy, that is a bit overkill. Like when I'm doing the shots of these, I don't think I'm going to be doing many shots with them having all four of the magic beams going at one time. You know what I mean? It just.
Yeah, make a gif of one shot with one and another shot with the other, and then
Oh, yeah.
make it look like they're cycling.
Yeah. Here you can see. And let me see if I can. get a M50 to want to be a friend.
Oh, you think the sticky buns are good? Wait till Tuesday is National Chocolate Covered Nut Day.
Well, so that's like be like getting like a Brazilian or something, right? Check that out, Randy.
Nice.
While the M50 decides it wants to cooperate. But yeah, it is a bit much, right? With all of them going, with all 4 guns ablazing at the
It's
same
like
time.
Medusa on acid or something.
Yeah, it's like ah! It's like you could have killed me with any one of these. You didn't have to. But it is nice because it gives people the options. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna fit all of these in, and then just kind of do a blend in, because I don't know if you can see here, Randy. Yeah, here in particular, like the lightning boltish kind of one. You can see how its tentacle is not quite akin to his brother, Angry Inches. And so we'll work on that. That's what we're going to be working on. So, all right, sticky bun buns.
The Angry Inch one is also known as, what is it, Tommy Gnosis?
Is that who Hedwig was?
I think so. Gnosis. Yeah.
Like Gnostic texts.
Greek word for knowledge. It's gnosis.
Gnosis. You're so nosy. Mm-hmm.
It's one of my I like how when words have multiple levels to them, multiple meanings, but also like a phrase that kind of multiple levels, you really have to like peel back the layers of that onion. So one of my usernames for gaming stuff, when I'm gaming, is Randy Gnosis.
Yeah, I've seen you use that before.
Kind of like carnal knowledge.
That is funny. Randy
is one level of it.
Yeah, that is. I like that. It's clever. All right, trying to make sure I can get this to fit. All right, good. Helps when you do some of this stuff on camera, so people can feel like they're
Saturday the 22nd is Sword Swallowers Day.
Sword Swallowers. Oh wow! Look at there's number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
That's right. I'm actually getting some O-rings. It's funny that you would mention that, Randy. The strap on my bass, I've been having some problems, where like it comes off, gets twisted, and it wants to pop off. And I was like, I don't know why there isn't just like a ring or something that you can put on it. And there is. It's like, like a rubber band that you just put over it that prevents it from doing that. I was like, okay. So I think it's supposed to come today.
Nice.
But like nothing. I was like, yeah, that'll be nice, instead of dropping a guitar that's worth more than 25 cents. I think I'll invest the 25 cents, and it's really breaking my heart, Randy, that not having the Rocksmith, because music's been really lovely therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've been fighting some of the struggles this last day or so, I haven't had that turn to. Well, I mean, still have music, right? But
yeah.
I didn't have that.
No, but you were really digging on the Rocksmith right there for a while.
Yeah, and
progressing through the.
I still am, and so yeah, it was kind of frustrating. Oh, it's good though, because it is giving my hand a break, and that was good. I was getting some places where I kind of needed to. Go ahead, you can make jokes. That's loud. That's fair game.
So your hand was overworked.
Well, it's funny, you're using different sets of muscles. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. There. SSR. I should keep switching the camera. I'm sorry. Here's number 3. I am really pleased with the way these are coming out.
So it's about time for mental health minute. So I'm just gonna
That
I'm
is
just gonna
crazy.
throw some stuff
How
out.
is it, Randy? We're only like 10 minutes into the show.
Well, we got it's 17 minutes till. So
Oh, okay.
I mean till mental health. Well, and whatever it works.
You bring it. You have something. You bring
I'm just
it.
gonna casually throw in a couple of the snack times.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on, brother.
So Kendra, 6 years old, says, "It's been a long day. Someone get me some juice."
I love that. I need somebody to give me a box of juice right now. Damn it, this is a two juice box day. That's awesome. I need some juice stat. Okay, let's see here. Quarter. Sorry. Okay, so here we are. And the first things that I want to do is I need to work out the flush tones that we're going to use, and I've been using just, I think basically this is kind of what the highest levels are. So we'll push that there.
Emery, 3 years old, says, "I'm going to my room to think about what you've done to me."
Nice.
"I love you to pieces, but I'm not trying to break you." Anonymous 6-year-old.
I love you to pieces. Okay. What's how we doing our normal?
I still like I don't even like you, but I don't have any other places for living.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's why I like this. It's because it's a little darker and snarkier than kind of your normal, like, oh, I can't say the darndest things.
That was a 6-year-old's response to when she was asked to come in for dinner.
Come in for dinner, and she's like, I don't really even like you, but I don't have anywhere else to live. You do know that, right? If only.
"I don't want a brother. I want pizza rolls."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's like, I agree with just about anything that they say about pizza. Me and kids.
There are only 2 days of the week: pizza day and not pizza day.
Yeah. And what was the other one? It's like, I like fractions because all the examples involve pizza.
Yeah.
This one's I'm going to have to do some dye on, but that's all right. This, let me see here how we have. Same thing here. I'll hit a little highlights and then hit them with a little bit of a dye to get them to match a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, snack time. Yeah, so the thing I had for today's mental health minute, Randy, was when things go wonky.
Mm-hmm.
And, just as I was trying to handle some things that's gone, it's like I don't have any great advice to share here other than just that's what I'm working through right now, right? And you get those moments, right? You have those times where it's just it feels like it's avalanching on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, can I just have a moment of respite? And this is, I'll say first world problems. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of hate that. I mean, so people got real problems, right? So maybe that's step one, right? Is measure from the ground up, not from the top down. We're starting at zero, not from.
I always try to do that whenever I'm feeling like that, like poor me or whatever, or like I'm something really terrible has happened, and it's I always say like, okay, let's reconsider this. Like, am I being bombed right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are my loved ones being attacked viciously in front of me? Like, no. So yeah, not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Perspective. Yeah. Valid. So, and that's the thing too. It's just like I don't. no matter how well you are handling a situation, right? It's wearisome, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's like, and as we've talked about, like just because the driver pulls in front of you, as the wise JC said, they probably just need to poop. And
Real bad.
real bad. It was probably just need to poop real bad. And that's a good thing to think about. And that's, I don't know, I guess the universe needed to poop real bad. Because that's what it was starting to feel, right? And there isn't necessarily any intent there. But you're like, come on, can I, you know, and you're like, I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying not to take it personal, you know, and it's just like, you know, in the moment when you're like wrestling a 100-pound dog and your glasses break, you just kind of feel like you're ready to throw in the towel. But
yeah, and those times will happen. You just gotta try to recognize it and take a step back, and then try to find something to pull you out of it.
Yeah.
Take a little me time to do something you know is gonna cheer you up a bit or whatever. Distract you from it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well, and then that's technology, right? Technology can be a real source of aggravation and frustration. And I think that it's important to recognize that and be sensitive. I know that I need to be sensitive to it, that there's going to be points where it's like, I got to just walk away and maybe not do something techno. Because everything I'm trying to do is like, I'm trying to do the TV and the menu isn't working. I'm trying to do, you know, put the movie, but I can't get it onto the right input. You know, I'll play my Switch, but it's in an update, you know, and you're like,
yeah, so just take a break and listen to some jazz instead or something.
Or grab a book or go for a walk or, you know what I mean?
Instead of techno.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do techno. No boots and pants and
boots and pants and
boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. Yeah. So it's kind of like, and that was one of the things is I was trying to, like, we had D&D yesterday and we didn't end up doing D&D. We had to pivot, and so we ended up playing VR. And I was trying to get it to beam onto the device like you and I had done, you know, and it worked seamlessly, and I couldn't get it to work. And, you know, you're trying to get somebody, it's like, you should be getting a prompt on your screen. I'm not getting a prompt. And, you know, somebody who's had a headset on for the first time. So it's like, and they're not actually getting the prompt, or and you can't see it. And that's the thing that you're trying to do is so that you can see it, you know, and you're just fighting. And, you know, this was what we pivoted away from, right? So it was pivoted to, you know, so it's just like, it's one of those things where you just try to pivot and you hit a wall and you pivot and you hit another wall. And after you hit that third or fourth one, man, it gets hard to keep the smile on the face. And that's that I guess I'm talking about. And again, you know, no words of wisdom, just acknowledging. It's like,
yeah, that's how it was too when you know, I went to my brother's to play.
Yeah.
And, show him my VR and everything, play some PlayStation games, and like everything was going wrong along those lines, like with the internet or how long it was taking to download a new game or update things or create player accounts or whatever. Just nothing was working out. So we had to keep adjusting and like, no, guess that's not gonna work. Guess that's not gonna work. Guess that's not gonna work. And then finally it was like, okay, well, we got some stuff downloading and updating, so let's just watch a movie. And just, you know, made the best of what we had and had fun with that.
Yeah.
And then it ended up working out really well.
Yep. Yeah. So I think that's good for today's mental health minute. It came a little early. Yeah, and so that was like today, you know that one of the tests went public, and it was like, of course it did. And it's just like one of those days, and sometimes I think
so
too,
easy
you got to embrace it, right, and then just laugh, have fun with it. It's like, yeah, come on, bring it, more of that. That's what I want. Yeah,
that's actually the default setting. So if you don't remember, if you get distracted anyway, or if it just wants to be wonky, then you know, it's easy to.
That's it. Give me more of that. Oh yeah, is that it? That's what
hey JB.
Yeah.
What did one blade of grass say to another about the lack of rain?
What did one blade of grass say to the other?
I guess we'll just have to make do.
We'll just have to make do. Hey,
Yeah.
right on.
What's the difference between a poorly dressed man on a unicycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle?
A poorly dressed man on a unicycle
Yeah.
and a well-dressed man on a bicycle?
Yep.
Give it to me.
Attire.
I love that. Hold on. I want to savor that one a little bit. Actually, I really like that. That's clever.
Here's a modern one. Trying to get online at my mother-in-law's, I scrolled through various internet access names. One neighbor's Wi-Fi really stood out. You kids, get off my land!
Nice. I like that one. I reckon because it's true. One of my neighbors has one. It's called the Promised Land.
Mm-hmm.
As in like the
Their
Promised
Wi-Fi is
Land.
the Promised Land.
You know, Promised Land. All right. So we've got that. We've got that. I'm going to have to do a little bit of a tent job here, Randy. Let me hit these with a little bit of this, though, as well. Just to keep everything in the same palette. So, can we talk a little VR, Randy?
Oh my
In between Cooper
after
snores?
why shouldn't you visit an expensive wig shop?
An expensive what shop?
An expensive wig shop.
Wig shop.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's too high a price to pay.
Wow. That's too high a price to pay. Haha. You know what I say? You know I get you there, huh? You funny man.
You wild and crazy guy.
You funny man with you too high price to pay.
I like you.
I love it. Yes. Thank you. That's good. I like that. This is humor, man. Is
Oh, this is apropos. What lies at the bottom of the ocean and twitches? A nervous wreck.
A nervous wreck. I like that.
How much does a pirate pay for corn? A buccaneer.
Buccaneer.
Don't interrupt someone working intently on a puzzle. Chances are you'll damn it. Chances are you'll hear some crosswords.
What's that?
Don't interrupt someone intently working on a puzzle. Chances are you'll hear some crosswords.
Where do pirates keep their buccaneers? Under their bucking hat.
Oh, that's just okay. Okay, let's go VR.
VR, yeah. So I got the Oculus Quest.
Oh wait, hold on. last one. Which country's capital has the fastest growing population? Ireland. Every day it's Dublin. All right. Anyway, let me close this.
Bubbling in Dublin.
Okay, so yes, we played.
So we got the Oculus Quest,
Yep.
and that's, from what I understand, the first and only untethered VR experience of any merit.
Which I thought as well, and then I saw there's like the Vive or something like that, I think.
The HTC Vive. Is it untethered as well?
I believe so.
Okay. Again, most of what we say here is probably going to be wrong, so do your own fact-finding, mofos. It certainly is the one that has been getting the press, and that's what I thought it was being touted as, was kind of, and if not, I'm not hearing anybody compare the Vive and the Quest currently, so I'm not sure what the difference is. Let's see here. That's... And so it's been really a I told Randy on the last program before he'd had a chance to try it that he's like, man, I'm really sold on the untethered experience. And the only other experience I'd had was Randy had brought over his PlayStation VR headset. And so that was the only real kind of experience that I'd actually had with it. And it instantly was like, enjoyed it. I was like, wow, this is cool. But with doing the untethered, it was like, wow, okay, this even opens it up way more. And Randy, your comment was very much in line, if not even more emphatic, I thought. Your experience with the untethered. Once you're done.
Yeah,
doing the
and I
research.
haven't done a whole lot yet with the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
But just from the little bit that I have done, especially when I was trying to play the Doctor Who
Somewhere
Edge
in
of Reason
Time
or whatever, Edge of Time, the cord and
And
the way you were
I thought that one was called
facing-
Edge of the Cash Grab.
yeah.
Go ahead.
The cord was a huge issue because it kept getting like wound in the cord, kept getting turned the wrong way.
Yeah,
And then tracking becomes an issue because the tracking with the PS4 is camera and light based. The lights on the controllers, the hand controllers, and the headset, in concert with the camera. So if you get turned backwards, then it's not seeing the controllers properly. So you lose tracking within the game.
it seems like any Doctor Who game worth its salt, where you're in the TARDIS, right, is going to involve you running around that central pylon thing, right?
Yeah.
And so you would need it to be big. You would want a space as big as that you could do that without needing to rotate your view, right? That would be a fun thing.
They tried to add some elements of that. I'm not a huge if I assume that it is the new Doctor. I'm assuming that console is accurate to hers. Otherwise, what's the point?
So it's all phallic.
Odd. Yeah, yeah. Her sonic screwdriver definitely looks like a vibrator or something. It's insane. Like, it looks like a pocket rocket or something. Seriously,
That's crazy.
And it vibrates, so it's very confusing.
It's very confusing.
But elements of the TARDIS console were just like plumbing faucet valves and things like that. So it was just kind of strange. And the way it wanted you to like activate, like unlock basically the console, I think. So you had to activate it in that way by doing a certain sequence of things, and it was trying to lead you through it, but
it wasn't.
There was a bit
awesome with doing a job of it.
Difficulty with like grabbing this control and like whether it was going to acknowledge whether you were grabbing this control or not, and then you lost sequence or didn't do it fast enough because of the issues you had with trying to grab it properly, and so that was a bit annoying.
Yeah,
I appreciate what they were trying to do there, but they need to improve it a bit, I think. But mainly it's that combo of the cord being an issue and getting in your way and turning the wrong way. And then also, I didn't feel like there was enough of an awareness of your space. So you'd like, again, you'd get into the wrong area, you'd back up into the couch, you'd go too forward and back into something, and run into something else. So it's a place where the Oculus Quest, that's the one you have, right? The Quest?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Oculus Quest was immediately evident that it was improved over that situation. Not having the cord is huge.
Yeah.
And then the way it tracks, since instead of using the camera that's pointed at you,
a camera that's
tracking
in a fixed,
the lights
in a fixed space.
Yeah, it's fixed. Tracking lights on your headset and your hand controllers. It's the camera in the cameras in the headset that are doing the tracking, as well as I believe sensors in the handsets and stuff probably are helping there too. But it's always with you and it moves with you, so you're never facing the wrong direction. You're never too far away from the camera or too close to the camera. It's always
Yeah.
in the right spot.
One of the things that I liked about this, and everybody who's experienced it has remarked about it, and I don't know why other it's not unique to Untethered, but when you have the set playing area and when you go out of the playing area, it automatically switches to that camera view so you
Yeah.
can see with the headset on,
Mhm.
and it's like every headset needs to do that thing.
Yeah,
Everything
that was
needs
really
that
cool.
feature because that feature is so crucial to
So
VR.
I don't think somebody that has an experience that might
Yeah.
not understand what you're talking about.
Yes,
And
if you could-
so that's another thing is in the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation VR Doctor Who game, it did that a little bit where it threw up the grid to try to let you know that you're moving out of your usable space, your trackable space.
Right.
But it was not nearly as useful. It didn't work nearly as well as with the Quest, where you define your play space before you start playing the game.
Right.
Which also defining that, like if it's not an exact square, say, or circle, if it has some additional elements to it to make it a unique shape, because you're following the lines of the furniture or whatever, and okay, now you've got the couch, but there's no couch here, and then there's a chair, so you have like you're starting kind of a rectangle, but then you've got an expansion of space right there where there's nothing, so you got like one line with a zigzag, there you go, and then another line, and then a different shape on the other side. Then when it pops that up, you've got a better idea of where you are in that space than just having than the way it was done on the other system. And that's not the biggest way. That's a small feature. It's mainly going to be subconscious. Like I don't think I thought about that during the thing. I thought about that after the fact.
Uh-huh.
That was probably adding to the usefulness of the experience. But they just did a really good job with the way that they popped up your space grid, your defined space grid while you're in the game.
Yeah.
And the way it controls, there's a big problem with PS4 VR, because at first they don't tell you a lot about how to set up the VR headset and everything appropriately. They just run through part of it. It's like a quick start.
Uh-huh.
But if you can fine tune it if you go into the settings and adjust everything individually, and there's settings in there that you didn't even adjust at all in the quick start. And camera positioning is really important. So like you may, when you're playing the PS4 VR, you may set your controllers down, and then you won't be able to, or even if it's not just your controller, if you're trying to pick something up off the ground in the game,
Yeah.
you might not be able to reach it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because your hand may hit the floor before you've reached the item on the ground in the game. And some of them have the ability to change your height level or ground height within the game, and then some others don't. But with the Oculus, you define your space, including where the ground is, just by setting the controller on the ground or touching the ground with the controller.
Right.
It automatically knows exactly where the ground is in relation to you, and keeps track of that very well. And so far, we have less experience with that than we do with the PlayStation VR, or at least I do, because I've only.
And then last night, I played where
like half an
multiple
hour or
people were using it, and because of like what you were talking about, it. Although I don't know if it would be a problem, it was no issue switching between players. Right? We were playing games, and everybody could just swap, and it was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. But
what do you mean?
it was like we didn't have to reset like
I gotcha.
the floor or anything, because it knows where the floor is, and so it knows where the headset is in relationship with the floor, and it knows where the things are, so it didn't really care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was one thing that we did negative that we did have about the Oculus was that it says it's a single user device.
That was what sucked.
Like, huh? So you couldn't set up multiple profiles. So I couldn't set up a profile for me and a profile for Randy. And I was like, huh? And it was funny because when we looked online, then I was looking to see like how do you do this? And then, like, one person was like, hey, how do I hide my porn? And they're like, you don't. It's a single-use device. And I was like, huh. So that doesn't.
I don't know. What would you do? You would get like a what do they call that? A third-party program that handles it and saves your settings, and you just load and unload the software when you need it. I don't know.
You got your porn VR set and your. How would you tell if you were going to do something to decorate them to tell your porn headset from your regular? I guess one porn headset comes with a ball gag or something. I don't know.
It has fuzzy handcuffs on it.
Fuzzy handcuffs? Oh yeah, you fuzzy like, handcuff your controllers.
Some people put googly eyes on there. You'd put the fuzzy handcuffs on there as googly eyes or something.
No, you know how you got the controllers, right?
Is your
so you fuzzy cuff
that's
those?
A good one.
Yeah, you fuzzy cuff those to you. I think it'd be a good way to do that. Let me. So that was the red.
Excuse me.
Let me see here. Is this the reds or the purples?
What we got? I've got the Samsung VR. That was fun.
Yeah, and that was untethered,
thought,
but it is a lower grade VR. Would you not agree?
I didn't play it enough, and it's been so long that I would assume that it is. But basically, what did they have? What did Oculus was using something, the Oculus Go or something, or
right? And there still is, I think, the Oculus. They have the Rift and they have the Go.
I think the Go
and the Quest, I think, are three of them.
It was basically like a phone was in the headset, so it was basically the same thing as that.
Yeah.
And I think that they have discontinued that line and are concentrating on going forward with the Quest at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oculus Go. Looks like there's also Google Daydream View, HR headset, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive virtual reality system, and the Samsung Gear VR. Those are just ones that come up as
the
best
Vive
VR headsets.
The Vive, Oculus, and Vive. When and Stream like Steam's VR, it'll tell you like what it supports, the different ones, and so it'll say like Oculus. It supports Oculus. It supports I think HTC Vive. There's like 3 or 4 that it mentions. So
yeah,
I think that there are 3 or 4 prominent.
A lot of it will have to do too with like what games are available. Does it do cross-platform well or at all? You know, that type of stuff as well. But my issue with the Samsung Gear VR is that on my phone I have a 3-piece case, and it was just a pain in the butt to switch that out.
It's just
every time you wanted to use it, and then you can't use your phone while you're, not.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing, like, the difference between tethered and untethered, right? It's just the ease of, hey, boom, 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 power, boom, you're playing.
Yeah. Oh, that's another huge issue about the Oculus Quest with versus the any tethered system really, is that it's self-contained, right?
Yeah. So
you can just pick it up and go and take it somewhere with you. And have other people experience it. You don't have to take your entire system with you.
Yeah, in theory,
and all the different.
You should be able to do it outside, like you were saying. It's like I don't know that. Yeah,
it's like you could play the Oculus Quest. You could potentially play in an open field.
Yeah.
And have infinite space to move around.
Yeah. That's pretty
relatively.
Relatively.
Infinite.
That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
So for that reason alone, just the easy convenience of it, that's a good feature. If it were otherwise exactly the same as the PS4, except that it was that much easier to just be portable with it, that would be a reason to go with it instead, I think.
Yeah. Now the one thing is that there's of course exclusives, right?
Yeah.
So I think that PlayStation has exclusive on the Iron Man VR game, which jelly. Hopefully that gets ported or something, because that seems super cool. And Then
So
also,
it's not out yet. I think it's available for pre-order.
right? Yeah. No, yeah, it's not out yet, from what I understand. And then also, so with it, there are like a lot of things that you're not going to be able to run natively on the Quest, right? Like the untethered, like Borderlands VR, Skyrim VR, things like that. You're going to have to be tethered for some of those experiences. Now, supposedly, you need a certain type of USB cable. I have one on order, so we're trying to see, because I was unable to. This is also some more of my technology, wrestling with the technology. I've been unable to get the computer to be able to recognize.
Better recognize.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fools. But in theory, you should be able to do that. So that is still, we'll report on the success of that or failures as we encounter them. So you are still, untethered. There are some experiences that you're going to be able to have, and then some that you won't be able to. But that was super cool. It's been real intuitive. I had 4 people that I showed it to, and it's interesting to see 4 different people experience VR for the first time, or relatively. Shay was hilarious. She was playing super hot.
Uh-huh.
And man, it was like, the thing is with that, if you move slowly, time moves slowly.
Yeah.
And I said she looked like one of those people, like when they go to the self-defense classes, and it's like an anti-rape class, right? And they've got the dude that's dressed up in the big, huge mascot thing, right? It's a big head.
Yeah.
And you see the woman go crazy, on him, and it's like knocking him on the ground and stomping on him. It was like that. I had to stand in front of my TV, and it was like, hey, you're going to break the TV. She was kicking. Like 3 seconds in the game, and she was kicking. And it's like, the computer doesn't know that you're kicking. I don't care. Dude, it's like, yeah. So she was like I was showing him how cool the battery control thing was, because it's like magnetic and it pops on and off, and she was like, yeah, it was coming off a little bit like when I was like, your user experience is not normal. I am not judging this product based on your user experience.
I was worried about that a little bit when you showed me that was magnetic.
Uh-huh.
I was worried that it would come off while you were playing, but yeah, with more strenuous stuff.
Maybe. But yeah. So but it was just neat to see how intuitive it was for everybody. Chris got to play just a little bit of the Vader Immortal, and was really enjoying that. And one of the things I really liked about the Vader Immortal, because you got to play the first chapter, I played the first chapter, is that it starts you off and you're in like a little spaceship, right? And you've got a droid who's the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just neat, right? Just you're kind of standing at the front of the ship looking down at the droid. I thought that was just a really neat experience, because it's like, it's one thing when you're interacting in a first person game and on a computer and it's a certain thing, but it's like when everything is real size, or your mind is perceiving it as actual size. That was one thing that really took me back. Like when I was in the ship and I was looking over at that droid, and it was like my mind is receiving, like I could tell you how tall it was supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, it was a really unique experience. And then the way that ship is that it had a window in the ceiling, and when you looked up and you could see the Star Destroyer coming through, and it was just like, oh man, that is so neat. I've never had an experience where I looked up at the ceiling and saw a Star Destroyer coming through. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think that game did well, is its sense of scale and space.
And it's supposed
in
to be
a large room format, where you could go up to a ledge and look down at lava that was really far below you in this huge cavern with different ledges and stuff, and look up and see different ledges up there in the distance, and it had a good feel to it. A good spatial awareness sort of situation going on there.
And I think that's its bread and butter, right? That's kind of what it's trying to hang its head on, is this kind of immersive experience more than just a game.
Mhm.
It's not so much a game as it is kind of a little story vignette. It's kind of really what I would imagine, you know, a lot of like holodeck stuff it kind of is, the way that they kind of portrayed that, right? It's like you're kind of getting to be in a story puzzle kind of thing. And so it had that feel to it. When you actually get to see Vader, and you can look Vader like face to face, that's pretty neat. I thought that was a really cool experience. And that was the one thing too, I was curious because he was taller than me, and I'm 6'4", and so I was curious to see if he was taller than everybody, right? Because he was just he was a little bit taller than me, and so he might have just been, that just might be what they might have him as like a 6'5" or 6'6" in the. I think David
Darth
Prowse.
Vader is 6'2",
Darth Vader's 6'2".
according to this.
I thought
Google search.
David Prowse was 6'8", but who was the actor?
How tall is Darth Vader in suit?
Computer.
Well, this says
Computer. How tall is David Prowse?
this says 6'7.5" at most. David Prowse is, since the first actor in the Vader suit was David Prowse, then 6'6". It's wholly believed that Vader is 6'7.5" at most.
Okay.
According to that, but the first thing that popped up said 6.2.
That's funny. 6.2 or 6 and 2 inches.
It says 6.2 feet.
Okay.
Chewbacca's apparently 7.5 according to that.
All right. I am happy with.
Chewbacca's supposed to be more than a foot taller than Vader, huh? He's not really that big.
You know,
that's huge.
You don't see him at many parties together, so it's.
Yeah. I mean, well, think about it in relation to Han. When he's standing next to Han, he's not.
Well, when you see him, like he bends over, it's like he bends at the waist and
Yeah,
he hugs like people's heads because he can't like touch any other part of their body. So there is something that's, I think. All right. So.
All right. Anyway,
for this next piece.
So yeah, with VR. And kind of the whole point is just the level of immersion you can get out of it. So the better it immerses you,
yeah,
the more you're going to get out of it. And especially when you got, if it comes with the headset and it's a good headset and you've got that in.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't have any focus on what you're talking about. You're talking about just the untethered, the untethered portion.
VR.
Just VR in general?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
VR as an immersive experience. The level of immersion you can get from it.
Yeah.
And how that is really its main calling, its main function is that level of immersion. Because especially if you're like in a horror game that's designed to scare you, it's going to be a totally different experience in a VR situation than it is just playing at 2D.
Yeah, I don't even want to do that. I don't think.
I bought one.
Did you?
Last night? Yeah. So
did you play it?
No, I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I figured we might be checking that one out on our game night.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff that on Steam that I'm like is on my watch list now because it's like, oh, come on, come down in price, and then Johnny's gonna buy.
Yeah, there was another one I was looking at, but I was waiting for it. It's supposed to be really good. It's one of the ones that were on several lists as a must-have. Which
one is that? I'm still trying to
Resident
learn.
Evil. I think the one that I picked up was a version of Resident Evil. I'm not sure. No, that doesn't seem right. Let's see. Resident Evil game, VR game. Oops. Biohazard. Resident Evil Biohazard. Scariest game ever, according to this.
Cool. Yeah, that could be super.
This person's like, Oh, this one's talking about Resident Evil 7 in VR. May be too scary for us. How scary is the Resident Evil? Yeah. And it sounded like, from the short clip I watched about it, it sounded like Resident Evil Biohazard has a character within it that may have like games within the game situation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly if that's exactly what they meant, but there was something about it that they were particularly interested in from that standpoint. So,
That's interesting. Yeah.
Let's see. Can I access my PS? Here we go.
I also got to play this game, Randy, called Space Pirate. That one you can...
Uh-huh.
And
Did you plunder some booty?
no, you basically are standing on a platform, and it's kind of like you remember Star Trek, the VR shooting game that they would do, where it's just like colored lights. They'd be on a platform, and they'd always be talking and shooting, and you know what I'm saying?
Was it It wasn't VR. It was.
I
just
mean,
on
holodeck.
Yeah,
Holodeck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So it's kind of like that, but you're on
The
a
ultimate
platform of like a space station, right? You got your spaceship behind you, so you don't have to worry about behind you. Your back's covered, but to the front of you, you know, for front 180 and up to the ceiling, you know, is anything can come and shoot you. And you've got two guns, and you're just, you know, shooting these things. But it's got this thing where, let me try to show you, showing the back of your head. All right. Switch to this. Okay. Randy, so if you have your two controllers, right?
Uh-huh.
And so you're shooting, it has this thing where you do this, and your gun, you end up having a shield. This this holographic, or you know, this like force field shield.
Yeah. And
it's just such a neat experience to like reach back and you come in and it's like your shield activates, and it was just like, oh, that's cool. And then it actually reflects the bullets back.
Nice.
And so and then you're doing this where you're shooting around your shields, you know. And it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Just the demo, you know, it's a neat little demo. It's like, ooh, that's kind of cool. So we did that. We did the super hot VR, and then Chris got to play just the part to where he gets to see Vader up in the Vader Immortal. But yeah, that the looking Vader in the eye, I thought that was, or you know, where you're face to face with him.
Yeah,
I thought that was a pretty neat. And like you were saying too, the ones where when you can get to the edge and you can look down, and you're like, wow, and it gets you in your stomach. And then like the one part where you actually are working on when you can blast laser bolts back with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Right. And you're on that platform, and that platform starts to move. It was like, holy, what? It's like I've about hit the ground.
Yeah.
There's one point it's like, I might actually sit on the ground for this part. I might just ride this on the ground. So those were pretty cool. All right.
So I think we need to play some more. Ideally, play something cross-platform. So we're both playing the same game in the different systems to judge graphic quality and things like that.
I picked up the Bridge Commander for it native.
Cool.
So that it is on their native now. So that's one that I definitely want us to...
Bridge Crew.
Bridge Crew, yeah,
Crew.
sorry, I keep...
Yeah.
I want it to be Bridge Commander. All right, so we've got...
It looks like... they got quite a few games out for pre-order. Marvel Iron Man VR... What is that? May 15th is supposed to be when that comes out, it looks like.
May 15th is the Iron Man one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks really cool because like when you have your two hand controllers, like if you put them down to like the ground, I think that's like how you control flying, right? So like if you think about him shooting his repulsor beams from his hands, right, how he uses those to fly, That's
Uh-huh.
like, I think, how you control flight in the game, which would be nuts. That would be really, I think that'd be a really cool, interesting experience. And that's where I get excited about these things. It's not how well you can depict things that are real, but how can you use this as a tool to depict something that isn't? Because there was another part in that chapter 1 where it was like the dream sequence, and it kind of reminded me of a little bit like the Harry Potter scene with the three brothers, the animated sequence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that, and it was just like,
About the Deathly Hallows.
yeah, in Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
But you're like, you had to look in the 360 as this animation is weaving around you, and it was just like, this is a neat experience. I've not had an experience like this. This is novel, and that was really fascinating. And I guess that's the thing. Some of the thing that really excites me about the possibility of VR is novel experiences.
Yeah. And it does open new venues for creativity in a way.
Yeah.
And new experiences, new storytelling experiences. Because that was cool. You're what aspect was okay? Yeah, so that was within the Vader
Yeah.
game with Oculus Rift.
Yeah, because it was like giving you like a back
Or not Rift.
story or something.
Was it Quest?
Quest?
Oculus Quest.
Yeah, it's a Quest.
Yeah. So you were taken into this mind space, if you will.
Yeah.
And somebody was trying to tell you a story, basically, tell you what happened to their civilization, and it is drawn. So it's like an animated illustration, basically, of what's going on, and it's being drawn around you as they're telling the story. So the story is happening. The story is happening around you in 360.
Yeah, it's almost like a mosaic that's coming to life in front of you, that's spinning around. So you're spinning around 360 to watch the things that she's describing, and then at the end of it, it's like it puts you in a different place than where you actually are. And I don't know, I just felt very immersed in the experience of it. Yeah, I thought that was really powerful. Really, really, really powerful. I did remember we had ran the batteries out last night, so I did remember to charge it before you came over. So
Oh, cool.
I do have it upstairs charging.
So how long did the batteries last?
Everybody got to play the demo of VR, and I probably only had it at 65, 70% maybe to start with. Everybody got to play that. Somebody got to play the Space Pirate. I got to play the Space Pirate. Chris got to do the Vader. And I think then that might have been it. So I think we got a couple hours out of it, maybe. And that was not full power. So and also I was beaming to the device. So I think that probably uses some extra. And also, Randy, when you were in there, you mentioned that there was a red dot. That red dot is like a record dot. And it's letting you know that you're streaming. So it's letting you know that it's streaming outside of the thing.
Okay.
So maybe there's a way to turn that off, but I noticed that's only seems to be happening when I'm streaming to a device. But what was cool was that I can natively stream those to the shields. I think anything that you could like basically Google Cast to, you can stream to.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to beam it onto the main TV. So that was fun that, everybody was in that space and could see it on the big TV, what was happening, like the PlayStation does. But yeah, and that's one thing is with the Oculus app, you can then beam it to your phone. So that was kind of cool. And then also I noticed with the Oculus, you can do chat features within it. So the chat features within the game, you could also use the app to do the chatting instead. So, yeah, those were some of the...
I'm looking at the pictures for some of the Resident Evil Biohazard, and I'm getting the chills from some of it. Just showing pictures on, yeah. Nice. Just imagining what that might be like in VR. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna try to do some color shift on the eyes, and then these are gonna be really close to being done. All right, here. Let's see.
Doesn't look like there's any way to. Oh wait, maybe here. I'm trying to see my list of purchased games. Let's see, download queue, download list.
On which? Also, do you have the Steam app on your phone?
No,
If you do, that's another way that you can kind of.
I do not have that on my phone. But I'm looking for PlayStation.
Oh, PlayStation. Anyways,
Yeah.
yep. If you were paying attention, you would know. Dummy. Alright. I'm putting some more color shift paint on the eyes. I really want these things to sparkle.
I did pick up Lego Star Wars.
Good.
I think it's the gold edition of The Force Awakens.
Okay.
So it's like it just has a couple extra character packs or something.
They're going to be coming out with the Skywalker saga, Star Wars Skywalker saga for Legos, where you can do all the movies, all 9 movies. It's like all new of Lego with the 9 movies.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be cool.
I got Until Dawn Rush of Blood is the scary one that I got.
Okay.
And then I got Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, okay. That I like that one a lot. Yeah.
And the Harry Potter collection Lego.
Yep, that one's. I think Carrie's on her 3rd run of that one. So if you have any questions, she's done it 100% twice. She's working on 3rd time now. I'm hoping that they come out with a after they release the 3rd movie, the Grindelwald Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that they do a Lego of that. The Avengers one is really good too. I'm playing the Avengers 2 one Lego, and that one's really good.
Nice.
I think that was one you may have played with me because we were Star-Lord. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one's fun. I like the open world. They do open world really nicely, I think. Because with that one, that's the one where you...
Oh, the Lego games?
Yeah. Kang is the main villain in this one, the Lego Avengers 2. Kang is the main villain, and he's done some time stuff. And so you've got this weird city that's a mixture of a bunch of different places. So you've got like 3 versions of New York. You've got Thor's spot, Asgard, right? You got Black Panthers. You got Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
You have, so it's a real weird mixture of stuff, but it works. It works really, and it's fun. It's really fun.
Nice.
But yeah, the Lego games are really, 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 really fun. Carrie's also playing the Jurassic Park one, and I have the
I almost picked that up.
And I also have
but
the.
I ended up not. I'd gotten a lot of stuff, so I was like,
Yeah, she's also. We also have the Incredibles. I think that one's supposed to be pretty good. The Batman ones are supposed to be really good too. I think on Switch I have the DC villains one. A lot of Lego games, but they're fun, man. They are really good. They have a great sense of humor too, like the cutscenes, and they're just so funny. And the things that they say it's just funny. Really well done. Good form. Good form. All right, let's do one last little piece of the mask. A couple of things here, and then these guys are going to dry, and then I think that what I'm going to do is then off camera, Randy, I'll end up hitting these entirely with a gloss, or not with a gloss, but with a matte, like a Krylon matte spray, and then once they're completely done, to help seal the paint in, then I will hit the teeth and the eyeballs with some gloss, and then those will look extra glossy. So I'm going to put these to the side for now. And I think with the remaining time, I'm actually going to pull out that hot glue gun.
So
Let's see what we can
the
do.
Until Dawn Rush of Blood
Uh-huh.
is Descend into Madness. Strap yourself in for the most disturbing roller coaster ride you'll ever take. From the warped minds of the team behind PS4 horror classic Until Dawn comes Until Dawn Rush of Blood. virtual reality experience to strike fear into the hearts of every trigger-happy arcade shooter fan.
Nice. Yeah, I remember we were playing when I had the Xbox original camera thingy, right? I don't even remember what they called that thing.
The what now?
The camera thing for the Xbox 360 that could detect motion. Do you remember that? There was a dance game and that I had for it. And...
Xbox.
Oh, it wasn't that? Actually, it wasn't even that. I would think it was the Nintendo Switch that we had. And I had gotten the controllers where you could use them as guns. And we were playing some zombie game in that. And that was just a lot of fun.
Wasn't the Switch?
No, it was the Wii.
Yeah.
It was the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because it had the motion controllers, and that's what it was. And so we were using those as like a shooting game. And you were on rails, right? Like you didn't move or anything; it just moved you from place to place. But you had to shoot the oncoming waves, and just even stuff like that's fun. All right, so we have that. We got that. We got that. With that. I got that. I'm gonna put this over there. Let me see if I do that.
Xbox Connect.
The Kinect is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kinect. That had its brief moment of being a transitory technology. Which, I support that stuff for what it is, right? That stuff helps other technologies come to be, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to clean all this up. Let's see. That's hilarious. Yeah, so Randy, on these bases.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Hold on, now let's see if I can get a M50.
It sounds like the audio cleared itself up at some point.
It could have been internet stuff too, right? And
Huh?
I did do a major reshift in where I had my microphone, which was not optimal. All right, so again here, Randy, you can see our lovely beholder. This thing is bad ass.
Noise.
But his bass here, right? I mean, that's what we were finishing on the last stream, and all that was just taking some of this smoke paint and watering it down a little bit and smearing it on here. And where it just gathers. This is where I remember we were talking about that contrast paint. That's a big deal now.
Uh-huh.
And it just acts like the contrast paint. It just settles in the grooves and it gets darker and kind of acts like a paint / wash. And so it was like super effective, for making these bases. I might hit them with a dry brush or hit them with a wash or something, but they're pretty much good to go just as is. So, and that's again where I was talking about the different paints act differently. Like this one is just a really watery one, and I like it for that. And there's a wood grain one that it's really good for if you have a base coat on something. You can that's got wood grain texture on it. You can just kind of hit it with a thin coat, and it'll give you a lot of variation, like a contrast paint.
Cool.
But all right, so we got that. I'm gonna try to pull some of these paints to the side so I can make space to bring over our egg. I'll just throw you guys in here for the time being. Space quickly. Move this over here. Move this over here. Red, you got any movies that are on your radar right now? Or any
not
TV
really.
shows? Any TV shows that you got?
I've just been vegging out on YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Old episodes of 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown.
And that's that British game show.
Yeah.
With the celebrities.
Yeah, it's like a spoof on a game show because it's with comedians playing. Comedians are playing what is normally a serious game show sort of situation.
All right.
Involving like anagrams and mathematics and stuff like that. So
Anagram.
they and it's hosted by Jimmy Carr. They do a lot of funny like distraction tactics and stuff during scenes that are normally just sitting there waiting for people to come up with the answers and stuff.
He he has an extremely sharp wit.
Oh yeah, he's quick.
He can be off-putting to people instantly because he has a very odd laugh that sounds fake. That
Yeah.
ha 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 sort of laugh.
Yeah,
And-
he comes off like at first I thought he was a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like him.
And
at
he
all.
has
I
a
was
dick
like, oh,
persona
you're
that
just
he plays.
Huh?
He plays a dick persona.
Yeah,
Um,
because you can, if you watch enough of these episodes, you realize like, oh, okay, yeah, he's actually a really cool guy.
yeah, because like I played some clips, some of his comedy clips for you, and he's brutal in some of the things that he says.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, did that
Yeah.
offend you?
It is kind of.
It's going to get way worse
Yeah.
than that.
He's
Let's see where you guys rank on the scale of how worse it is. Oh, okay, so we got a few more of you there. Let me know when you you let me know when I've gone too far. And it's just like, okay.
It's like the shock jock of comedians.
Right. But it's funny because, you look at somebody like
In a way.
Howard Stern or something like that, and they're actually very sensitive people who, are actually really generous and generally well-natured, and are not these like toxic masculine figures that you might imagine them to be.
Mm.
All right, let's switch the camera here to this. But yeah, I think that it's kind of similar in that way. Let's see here. We're visiting our old friends, the eggs, and we break out Surebonder glue gun. This will be my first time to use this. I have a little version of it, but I don't have a big version. I'm hoping
What is it?
it's the glue gun, but
Okay.
Surebonder is the brand name.
Uh-huh.
I have this in the recommended gear. That and the hot gun are featured recommended items. More extensive list is also listed there. There's a link, but I have. Let me switch it to this camera here. So that's the mini one. It uses the mini sticks. And one of the nice things about the Surebonder is they got the auto shutoffs. But I needed something that was a dual temp, Randy. So this one's got a dual temp. In particular, we need it low so that we don't melt the foam. So I'm hoping that this will work.
Nice.
And we'll find out. You're gonna see success or failure, hopefully, if I can actually find some glue sticks that fit. And I think these will. I think these are full-size glue sticks. No. We might not. I might not have glue sticks that fit these. That is amazing. Because these are too small.
It didn't come with any.
No, it didn't. And I had some that I thought were full-size sticks, but I bought these probably 30 years ago, so they may have changed the way that they view what is or maybe not. Ooh. Randy, this glue stick is going to do what I say. I mean,
Don't break it.
misbehave. All right, I think those are actually the right size. All right, I need to figure out a place to plug it. All right, that took a little light down, but that's all right. We just create a little bit of a mood. Oh yeah, you know what time it is, Randy. Well, we got red light. We got the red light action going on here. This is dual temp, so it's got an H and an L. So let's do the L. We're gonna give it a little time to do its thing, and in the meanwhile, I will extract some of our pins from our egg. I hope this works, because this will be so much easier than what we were doing. If not, I'm gonna. I do think that I had made the speech that I was endeavored to see this one through the end, but sometimes you got to know when to say when, and I'm not prepared to do this manually. So if we can't, if the glue melts this styrofoam, then we'll use a plastic shell egg and do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because see, I just ripped a scale doing this. Alright. Now, I don't know how long it will take to get hot. I'll be curious to see how long this takes. That's the one thing I do find with the previous glue guns that I've used. They do take, I don't know, 90 seconds, a couple minutes. I tend to run a little impatient. All right. So we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Let's get a little piece of cardboard, perhaps. Oh, here's our instructions about the VR headset, Randy. All right, so let's see here. We got. I like the stand. All right, I think we just gotta wait for some drizzleage out of the nozzle. Are you team nozzle drizzle? If you've made it this far, please give us a hashtag team nozzle drizzle or hashtag drizzle nozzle, depending on which one you favor.
Oh shit. Stop.
What are you doing?
Stop.
Randy, I'm going to ask you to not watch Netflix while we're doing the stream.
I'm trying to
Please.
look for my watch history so I can tell you about what I've been watching since I can't ever remember. I got some of these things that look cool, but then they end up being dubbed stuff, I think. Although it's not saying it, it looks like it is probably. Huh.
It is warming up. So yeah, we're waiting for this. How much time have we got? We got about 20 minutes? No, we got about 10 minutes. All right, here. So while I'm waiting for this, I'll remind everybody to please take a look into the description for all the useful information, our social media, our links to the Quasi Shop, our links to recommended gear, the Amazon affiliate. We are associated with them. We can do the Amazon affiliate stuff, so we can potentially get commissions on purchases. So it is a super helpful way for us to stay afloat here. And also, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button, which is actually a button and not just a function. And then also, please though, do it the old school way, where you tell your mother, you tell your brother, you even tell your secret lover and or lovers. That Studio Johnny Q is where they take that sweet, sweet nerd stuff and they make it just a little bit better. And apparently where they struggle using hot glue guns. Still working on this to get melty. So we have that. The like, the share, the subscribe. When you hit the subscribe button, it gives you access to the bell icon. Clicking that will give you notifications on when we are live and when we are Memorex.
Hey, JB, they got a new season of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, just so you know.
Oh, awesome. What is now, isn't that supposed to be like a darker version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah. It is a much darker version than what you're used to from TV.
Isn't there like a CW show too that's like, it's Riverdale, which is like a dark version of Archie? Archie and Jughead?
There is Riverdale. I have no idea what it is.
Riverdale was the town that Archie and Jughead lived in, I think. So I think it's has something to do with them. All right, we are waiting.
Yeah, Riverdale is an American teen drama version series based on the characters of Archie comics. That's the first time I'm hearing that.
The actors from the TV show Wings, were you a Wings guy? Wings seemed like a type of show you would have enjoyed.
Yeah, I watched Wings. I thought Riverdale was like because I never really heard anything about it.
Yeah.
Everything was on. It's like young soap opera type stuff, but I thought it was like having to deal with maybe had a werewolf vampire element.
And I don't know
element
that
to it.
is not true.
This
I think
isn't looking like it does at all. I don't know.
I thought it may as well, actually. So it might.
Okay.
Because like I say, it's a darker version of it. And I don't think that just means that they all like take drugs and all have Hep C or something. All right.
And what were you about to say?
I don't know. Oh, there we go. We've got drippage. Look at that. Oh yeah. If that didn't get you where you're going, you come to the wrong spot. We're gonna go a little low temp hot glue action. Oh yeah. Oh, this works. I can tell you already. I may have a new love. Oh yes. Randy.
You liking it?
It's nice for all the fussing and the fighting and the things not working with me. It's nice to have something work the way that you hoped it would. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, a little bit between the cheek and the gum. Oh wait a minute, no, it's
Blech.
yeah. Alright, so he does that.
This says the series follows Archie Andrews' life in the small town of Riverdale and explores the darkness hidden behind its seemingly perfect image.
Steven Weber was Wings, right? That was one of the guys from Wings.
Yeah.
He is an insanely bright and clever guy. If he does his Twitter, which I think he does, he's responsible for his own Twitter. He's a really bright guy and funny. And he did this thing one time. This was years ago when I first started like kind of paying attention to Twitter. I don't really pay attention to it much, but he had a thing and it said, "Okay, Jughead." You know remember what Jughead looked like? If you pull up a picture of Jughead, he had a very prominent piece of headwear that he used to wear.
Oh, the like crown thing?
Yeah. So his Twitter was, "Okay, Jughead, we get it. The crenellations on your hat represent the varying socioeconomic levels of something, something, something." And it was just like, I just found that insanely clever. Yes, we get it, Jughead. Stop with your social commentary about the crenellations. And I was like, what the fuck is a crenellation? So that one got put in the lexicon just because. And the way I think about a crenellation is the
Castle.
the zigzags of a castle. Yeah. I was like, yep, that one's going in. Okay, Jughead. Yes. If I see another crenellated hat in an attempt for socioeconomic protest. Yeah, I'm loving this this gun already. This opens up lots of possibilities, I think, for us, Randy.
Nice.
I didn't realize how much I needed a low temp glue gun, but I did. All right. And actually, I really like how sturdy this gun is too. I kind of was like, didn't think I would be a fan of a big gun, a bigger gun, but I like how sturdy it is. All right, see, yeah, this is good. This is exciting.
Yeah, Wings was Steven Weber, Tim Daly. They were
Tim
brothers.
Daly. Okay, those are the brothers. Yeah.
Crystal Bernard.
And it's funny
What's
how
his name? I don't see his name on here.
They're the two of the side guys have had extremely prominent careers, right?
They were already, I think, They were both already pretty famous at that point. At least Tim was. I'm not entirely sure if Steven was or not.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the two other guys. The guy that played Monk.
Oh yeah, that's who I was. That's who I was trying. Yeah, Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub, and then the guy that was in Sideways, the wine movie.
Sideways.
Yeah, with Paul Giamatti, I think. And I could have that title wrong. I was thinking that's what it was. Computer, what was the wine movie that featured Paul Giamatti?
Depressed teacher.
Here's something I found on the web. According to biography.com,
Thomas Hayden Church.
born in Connecticut
Yeah.
in 1967,
The Mechanic.
Paul Giamatti got his big acting break in 1997's Howard Stern biopic Private Parts.
Where he played Pig Vomit. I was just thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church was Lowell Mather. He was the mechanic.
Yeah. Now, was he on Computer? What movie was
He was in Sideways.
Hayden Church? Oh, it was
Yeah.
Computer. Never mind.
Could you repeat that?
No,
No.
I could, but I'm not gonna. Not gonna. Not gonna.
Sideways follows two men in their 40s. Miles Raymond, who's played by Paul Giamatti, a depressed teacher and an unsuccessful writer, and Jack Cole, Thomas Hayden Church, a past his prime actor, who take a week-long road trip to Santa Barbara County wine country to celebrate Jack's upcoming wedding.
Yep. It was a much ballyhooed movie when it came out, and I was like, yeah, it was all right. I thought, but. Alright. Layering all these scales that we had pre-cut, and starting at this one end. They're all kind of oval shaped. We're making sure that the tip is pointing at the same spot and just kind of layering them on. And before, the gun that I had was high temp and it just wanted to melt the foam. So this dual temp on the low temp, it will work. There was a female character in that Sideways movie, and I always just remember her from Star Trek Next Generation. It's funny, there's a lot of actors and actresses that it's like, oh, I remembered you. It's like Famke, I think, right?
What is it?
Whoever plays the Dark Phoenix in the X-Men 2. Famke Janssen, I think is her name, or something like that. And I remember
Famke Jensen.
Yeah, something like that.
Jensen?
And she was in a Star Trek Next Generation episode where her race was bred to be the perfect bond for one person, blah, blah, blah. And she accidentally gets bonded to Picard. Let's see here. Alright. I'm extremely pleased with how this is working.
Excuse me. Famke Janssen. Yeah.
Shit. You got a Famke Janssen up in here?
So who's the woman you were talking about?
Famke Janssen. Oh, in Sideways, there's a female character. I think it's Tom Hayden's love interest. So, is he the one who's getting married, or is it? I don't remember which one of them was getting married. I think it is, because I think he's a womanizer and he's having a hard time.
Yes, Hayden Church is Jack Cole, and they're traveling to wine country to celebrate his upcoming wedding. So Sandra Oh and Virginia Madsen also star.
Virginia Madsen. Pull up Virginia Madsen.
Okay.
Yeah. Computer, what episode of Star Trek was Virginia Madsen in?
There aren't any Star Trek, the original series TV episodes with key events of Virginia Madsen in.
Not the original Star Trek Next Generation.
Star Trek Voyager
Nah, she was in...
is listed as a television credit for her.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Voyager. I recognized her from Star Trek, and I assumed it was from Next Gen. I was really certain it was from Next Gen, but maybe not.
Oops.
But I do, there's a lot of people where it's like the first time I remember, knew him, and then you're like, oh, this person was really famous. There's an old timey band, Randy, the Mamas and the Papas, and one of the Mamas was Michelle Phillips, and she was in an episode of Star Trek Next Generation. I remember I was watching my dad. I'd have it on when my dad would be coming home usually, and he was like, "That's Mama something something." I'm like, what? It's Mama Phillips. Dad, I'm watching Star Trek. You don't know what the hell I'm talking. What's going on here? It's Mama Phillips. What? And it was.
She does look vaguely familiar, but I can't.
Yeah, I can't
place
remember
her.
which episode it is. And the thing is, because she was like probably an alien, so she had some freckles or a ridge or something, maybe.
I mean, I know I've definitely seen her in something.
I
before,
thought for some-
but I cannot remember what that would be from any of these pictures.
Yeah, I'm
of
trying
her.
to think of.
Let's see. Oops. What? One of the searches is her smell. Is that a movie she was in, or is
Are we talking about Gwyneth Paltrow again?
that's what I'm wondering? I think it was a movie. I'm not sure. Either that or people want to know what she smells like, which is kind of strange.
Oh, Gwyneth, what have you started? You and your cooch candles. Hashtag real thing. Now this is going to get a little interesting here. The ass end is when things get a little interesting, Randy. Well, no, I'm not telling you nothing. But we're gonna take it down a notch here as we back this thing up.
Audiences first caught a glimpse of her as Princess Irulan in the 1984 science fiction epic Dune.
Oh,
She followed that up with Electric Dreams, 1984. However, it was 1986 that Virginia captured the hearts of the audience with an intense portrayal of a Catholic schoolgirl who fell in love with a boy from a prison camp in Duncan Gibbons' Fire with Fire.
good times.
1986. Oh, yeah.
I love
good
those
old
prison
Duncan
romance
Gibbons
stories.
and the Fire with Fire. I don't know what that is.
We were young. Our hearts were like open books.
Whatever it is, it made her a star overnight, apparently. Elevated its 3 young stars overnight.
Wow.
Huh.
The Tony Shalhoub,
Uh-huh.
he is in that much talked about show from the Gilmore Girls. Amy Sherman Palladino, I think is her name. She has a show called The Marvelous Ms. Maisel that's on Amazon Prime. That's one.
He's in that?
Yeah, he plays one of the fathers.
No.
Yep. He does a really good job in it. He kind of plays this exasperated her father, actually. He always just kind of seems to be in a state of exasperation.
Let's see. She has a child with Antonio Sabato Jr.
She's not related to Michael Madsen. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that she was the love interest of the EMH. Or Neelix. Maybe. In the episode that she was in. I don't know. That's a long time ago. I mean, this probably happened 20 years ago since I've seen this.
Well, why do they continually have to change the layout of these things? Where the hell is her movie history?
Are you looking at the IMDb?
Yeah.
Biblio. Attempt at the Biblio.
Lately, it seems like every time I look at it, they've got it laid out differently. Here we go. What? There's a new series of Swamp Thing, 2019 TV series.
Is there?
Apparently.
Huh.
It's 10 episodes. Which she was in.
She was in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, that's the thing, is that TV is so fractionalized right now, right?
Yeah.
Because you got like Hulu and Crackle and this and that. And
Her Smell was a movie, by the way. 2018. Oh. Voltron Legendary Defender TV series. She was the voice of Commander Herrera.
Commander Her Smell?
Herrera.
She was in command of Her Smell. Go on, read. That's funny. I don't care who you are.
American Gothic. Wait a minute. Did they reboot that? That's older than 2016. Is this not what I'm thinking it is? Wasn't American Gothic was with the little boy and Gary Cole? Wasn't that American Gothic?
I think you might be getting confused with Gothic.
Oh, 1995, one season, American Gothic, Gary Cole.
Oh. Oh, wait a minute. Huh.
And this is a...
Randy.
What?
Look.
Nice.
Not perfect, but this is the learn from,
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
And
that's cool.
So we were able to... And I will off camera work on this one as well, and then maybe today's Thursday, right? So maybe I'll have a chance to actually Mod Podge these, and we can use these at least for some testing for paint schemes too. So, but this is encouraging. This was a big win for the glue gun. I'm going to count that as a huge win, and I'm really excited about the opportunities that this will allow me with, because like this will be awesome for like shingle roofs, foam shingles. You know what I mean?
I'll
just keep saying shingles. Have
How
you ever had shingles? Piles?
How are they going to make another TV series with the exact same name as the previous TV series? That's not the exact same thing. It's totally different.
There's only so many words, Randy. We're gonna have to start reusing them.
Jesus.
Only 12 notes a man can play. So again, Surebonder, low temp. This is awesome. Full stick. It sits really pretty. it's got a real nice firm. And it has auto shut off. So yeah, big fan. They have, and if you don't need dual temp, Surebonder has some cordless ones. I really would like to try those, but I wanted dual temp. So, but very happy with that. So Randy, do you have anything else we want a little long? But gosh darn it, I really wanted to get that egg done. I really wanted to lay an egg. That's what this episode. This what this episode's been calling. Laid an egg.
That last half hour, 45 minutes really flew. I'm still trying to figure out who the hell this woman played in Star Trek.
Let me see if
I'm just looking down and seeing everything that if I recognize her from anything within her history here.
Let's see if I can find a video clip of her.
Oh, she was on a couple episodes of Monk. Played the voice of Hippolyta in Wonder Woman video 2009. She's been in a ton of stuff.
Virginia Madsen, Star Trek.
She's done a lot of voice work. Justice League Unlimited TV series. Roulette, 2005, 2006.
Unforgettable.
I knew I had to go home.
Teen Titans.
So I took the initiative.
I laid my eggs in her sinus cavities.
Yada yada yada, pork in the hottie of the week, moving on.
The hell is this?
She's going to be with us. The captain wants her to serve a function, to contribute in some way. She's a trained expert in weaponry, surveillance, fighting skills. Any idea where she might fit in?
Mr. Neelix.
Oh, you gonna listen to the whole episode?
Well, it was actually them doing a commentary, but did you see her at the very beginning?
No, I didn't see it.
But I knew I had to go home and you'd forget about me within hours. So I took the initiative.
I laid my eggs in her sinus cavities.
Yada yada yada, pork in the hottie of the week, moving on.
Yada yada yada.
So it was Chakotay's love interest. Well, maybe it was multiple. She was.
You know, them aliens, they don't do things the way that.
Because she may have just been something that was affecting their minds.
You're so human-centric with your sexuality.
Taking advantage of their mind, telepathically or something. Spider-Man TV series, Dawson's Creek.
All right.
More Justice League.
A lot of voice work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's good work if you can get it. All right. So, Randy.
There it is. Star Trek Voyager Kelvin. Unforgettable. In 98.
Unforgettable, I think, was the name of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything more? Who she was? Or
I can.
Or
it
go
looks
ahead
like
and
she was at least an episode of Earth 2 as well.
Right.
Alien woman requests asylum aboard
Let's
Voyager, stating she has been aboard recently and she and Chakotay fell in love. She claims her race wants to keep themselves concealed from other
liar.
Concealed from other races and have ways to forget contact with her species. Once an agent charged with returning fugitives to her homeworld, she is now being hunted by her former colleagues for revealing her race's secrets.
Uh-huh.
And she's a whore. I just added that part. I don't know if that's true.
And not Virginia Madsen, her character. We're talking about the alien.
Well, I mean, draw your own conclusions.
Randy's a little xenophobic, so you have to pardon him. It was not his fault. He was manhandled roughly by an alien when he was a child. And so it's, just that's just behavioralism, right? Pavlovian response. Yep. All right, Randy. So with that in mind, I feel like we did enough chat about the business side of things with the descriptions and the bells. You want to ring that bell one last time? And then I will also ring the other bell, which summons good old Captain Krusty to come pick us up in the Herkimer and bring us topside. We thank everybody for your time and your attention, and for we kind of had a down day a little bit. I'm not going to lie about it. I felt like I was laying an egg, but at the end, we did lay
You
an
did,
egg.
and it was precious.
And I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So I think that's the silver lining I'm gonna try to take from today's episode, Randy, was that if you keep putting the work in, right? You don't make orange juice without squeezing the oranges. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you got to put the work in, and sometimes you squirt a little bit of that orange juice in your eye, and you cry.
It burns.
That's okay. Yeah, it burns. That's what them tears are for. And you get up, you dust yourself off, and you keep on moving. So, Randy, do you have anything else you'd like to leave the good people with before we give them the doctor's promise?
Love yourselves and love one another.
Yep. And then I will turn off this, although I don't have to worry because it would turn off by itself. That's just pretty neat, actually. Randy, it doesn't have a off. It's either high or low, so it just must auto shut off. Huh. And you just unplug it, I guess, if you... That's odd. Huh.
Oh, that's not the wireless one?
No, this is not the wireless one.
I'm
The
not
dual
up
temps
yet
you can't
on
do
your-
wireless with. So it looks like it's hot or low, and it is clearly marked which is which, but I don't think there's a middle switch. So okay, well, all right. So with that, we'll leave everybody with the doctor's promise, and you're not going to get the dragon to work today. I got a little hitch in the giddy up, so but we have to give the good people something, right? So what can we give the good people, Randy? If I can't give them the dragon twerk, we will give them, for the people that made it this long, we'll leave them with a little joke. Randy, did you hear what happened when the Pope went to Mount Olive? Popeye killed him. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time and your attention. Have a good one. Never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. Thanks, everybody.
It looks like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina shares a universe with Riverdale. FYI, I just saw.
Oh, that's interesting. Actually, that's cool. That's a really cool time. Thanks, Zach.
All right.
All right, thanks,
Love you
everybody.
guys. Bye.
Bow. Bow, 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 bow.